you ever been playing a Sonic the Hedgehog game and thought, what if this didn't suck? Me too. It's a very relatable experience. That's why today, on Sonic the Hedgehog's birthday, I'm happy to introduce you to my new favorite Sonic fan game, and a great mod for it, Sonic Roboblast 2, Persona. Sonic Roboblast 2 is a fan-made game that uses the same engine as the OG Doom. If you have a PC, I highly recommend it. While it does take some getting used to the movements, it's really rewarding at high-level play. But the focus of today's video is on this fan mod for Roboblast 2 Persona. One of my friends showed this to me the last time I visited, and I was immediately hooked. The thought of climbing Tartarus as Sonic the Hedgehog was too funny to pass up, so let's hop right in. After running through the tutorial, not much is different from your standard Persona game, but there is one new mechanic that turns stuff on its head: Hyper Mode. Just like electronics and vehicles lose power during the Dark Hour, so too do the Chaos Emeralds. By dealing damage or guarding, however, we can charge the Emerald's power and enter Hyper Mode, which prevents us from being knocked down, as well as lets us deal more damage with our moves. The downside is, the longer the battle drags on, the harder and harder it'll be to enter Hyper Mode, meaning it's meant to make battles faster and more intense. Comboed with the modern press turn mechanics, as well as a P5R style baton pass, I got super excited to dive right in. But before we do that, I have to talk about the endless modding potential of this game. Roboblast 2 has always had a very active modding community, and the Persona mod itself is no stranger to this. While scrolling through the mod page, I discovered some amazing mods that helped me make this run uniquely me. Since this mod doesn't have a story mode implemented yet, I decided to do a marathon run of Tartarus. This mod actually has multiplayer implemented, so if this video interests you, I highly recommend grabbing some friends and doing this. I bet it could make for a fun night or two. This marathon mode is reminiscent of this video by Groudon0199, where the whole goal is to run completely through Tartarus. Thankfully, some things have been changed to make this possible, like implementing shops and the Velvet Lab at boss floors. More on that later. After picking my team of Sonic, who wields Orpheus, Neku Sakuraba from The World Ends With You, Demi-Fiend,
thank you, Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne,
and Sora from Kingdom Hearts.
Kingdom Hearts 2 has screwed us again!
I set off to climb Tartarus. The movement in Sonic Roboblast 2, like I said, takes a bit of getting used to. So after whiffing my first interaction with the Shadow, we enter into combat at a disadvantage. Weirdly, Neku is faster than Sonic the frickin' Hedgehog, so I learned right away that all of his attacks are based off of pins from the game. Cool. Sonic, meanwhile, is based on Makoto from Persona 3, so he wields Orpheus. Nobody in this mod is a wildcard though, so I have to make do with sub-personas, a mechanic from PQ and PQ2. Thankfully, the beetle's weak to fire, so after a quick all-out attack, we move on. Speaking of sub-personas, I pull a Nata Taishi through shuffle time. I make it to floor 5 after a bit of grinding, and finally encounter my first shop, and a familiar face. Since I have Neku on my team, Mr. H handles all of my shopping business, and after a little chat with him to set my gear straight, I check out the Velvet Lab. The Velvet Attendant Alt says that equipment isn't her specialty, but that seems to be a lie. Here we can enhance our gear up to 10-star rankings, where they grant an added ability and bonus stats. We can also fuse our obtained sub-personas into our gear, further granting bonus stats and abilities. All in all, the mod creators thought out a lot of neat, unique ways of progression, and I'd love to see more in the coming future. We head to our first roadblock, 3 crying tables. It's super nostalgic seeing these guys. I throw Sora into hyper mode and brute force our way through them, as they're weak to strike attacks. Moving on through the next floors with very little challenge, I figure now is as good a time as any to explain everyone's weaknesses and resistances. As I said before, Sonic uses Orpheus, who resists fire but is weak to Psy. He also has a unique skill called Link, which inflicts damage to the enemy every time they're hit by someone else. Our next member is Neku, who resists Slash and Strike, but is weak to Curse skills. Funny how he isn't resistant to Pierce. Our third member, Demi-Fiend, only resistant to Bless and Curse, he's built almost 1-to-1 with his SM23 counterpart. It's really helpful that he has support skills. Last but not least is our golden boy Sora. He's resistant to Slash and Bless, but weak to Psy and Curse. Pretty well rounded in terms of skills too, and can even learn Cure, a retextured Dia. We find ourselves on floor 9, where the next roadblock awaits, and the final one of our video today. I never do this, but if you enjoyed this video, let me know with a comment or a like. I was really wary on putting this together, as I feel it's a super niche topic even for my channel, so if you guys want to see more stuff like this, definitely let me know. Our final boss is an old friend, Rampage Drive. Unfortunately, I think I forgot his weaknesses, or they've been changed for this, because he repels Neku's Thunderbolt and then hits Sonic with Thunder. I could have sworn Rampage Drive was weak to Elec skills, but I guess instead it's weak to ice. Unfortunately, I can't knock down bosses, so instead Sonic and Neku wail on it while Sora plays healer and Demi-Fiend debuffs. Thus ends our quick trip through Tartarus with the gang. Honestly, this is a really fun mod, and I hope anyone who's interested will check it out. If you want to see more content like this, make sure to stick around. I've got some more content in the works, and if you guys want, I can even continue this trip through Tartarus. See ya!